So it's turkey day. Turkey's all been eat. Family's done come and hung out, and it's getting to be evening here, but I need to make something. I need a tool and don't got one. I'm gonna show you what I do. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, this is how broke guys get tools. Probably not. It's probably not. Probably not. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's work at all. Homemade tools. I'm a big fan of homemade tools. This is an oil pump priming tool. Let me show you what I did. So one of the things I need to do is prime the oil system on this. Well, being pretty much a solid diehard FE guy, I don't really have a priming tool for a Windsor motor, specifically a 302 here, 302 based. But what I do have is an old junk HEI distributor made for a 302. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this old distributor into a priming tool. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And this is why it pays to be a bit of a parts hoarder, because you'll end up with junk like this, and this one right here is it doesn't really work very well anyway, and well, it's junk to start with. So we're going to rob the shaft out of it and use it to make a priming. I've got it locked into this vise here, and you can see it's got some problems. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and knock this pin out. First step is to drive this pin out. It's a roll pin. I think you can see it right there. It's poking through just a hair on that side. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to drive this roll pin out right there. Okay, you can see how we've got it driven part of the way out right there. So you can see what we're doing. We're driving this pin right here out. And once we drive that pin out, we can knock this collar right here off of this gear and knock it off of this. Okay, so what we have now here is this is the shaft that runs down the middle of the distributor. Up here is the top with the rotor button and all it is. Now there's this flat little triangle shaped plate made on top of this. I did cut that off. Other than cutting that off, this is the shaft as it comes out of the distributor. So now we just get rid of these teeth, and I'm gonna take my wheel and make a flat spot here, and probably a flat spot over here, and maybe one more, maybe make three, just so it'll chuck up in the drill tight. You don't have to do that because there's not that much pressure on it, but I'm going to. And well, I just want to make sure that will actually fit in my drill. So I'm gonna cut a little flat spot here and here, and kind of just make a place for the drill to get a hold of and narrow that up just a little bit. Knock these teeth off, and then I have a priming tool that I can drop down into the top of my oil pump, or into the shaft that goes into my oil pump, and then I can spin the oil pump with my drill and prime my oiling system before I start the engine. So let's do that. So here we are. It took me all of 15 minutes to make this. We've got the end here smoothed down. Took a file and hit it so it's really smooth right there. And this end up here, I took my file and just hit it in a couple of places just to make it so it's got kind of a diamond shape there. So in like 15 minutes and a junk distributor, I've made an oil pump priming tool for a Windsor motor that can now stay in my toolbox, and I always have this tool. There's always going to be the guy that says, well, I just went out and bought the tool. Well, fine, good for you. Here's the deal. This is for the young man that's trying to get his motor running over the weekend. You know, this is for the guy that might have a $100 bill in his bank account. That's all he's got, so he's got to do something. This is for the guy that needs it running Monday morning for work, and it's Friday evening, and there ain't nobody open that's got one of these tools. Or for the guy that just wants to save money. It took me I don't even know, maybe 15 minutes, somewhere in that neighborhood to make that tool. That was an old junk distributor that I had pulled out of a motor. I literally have zero money in this. So forget all the nonsense and stuff you'll hear about people telling you not to do stuff like this just to go out and buy the tool. That's not what we do around here. I am a firm believer in, so I've had people tell me that I'm just cheap and I think too much about money. Well, it's not that. I have a limited budget, so I need to put the money where I have to put the money. I don't have to put the money in an oil pump priming tool. I can make that. Now that, I don't even know what they cost now, like 20 bucks, 30 bucks. A great one, maybe $40, I don't know. But whatever that cost, now I can put that money towards something that I can't make, that I don't have laying around, that I have to buy. Like I gotta buy a battery for this Cougar. I can't make a battery. I can't take an old battery and all of a sudden make it good again. I don't have that skill set. So the $30, $40 I saved on this priming tool, well, there's a place down the road that sells reconditioned batteries for $50. So that's almost the cost of a battery right there that I would have to spend money on, that I can't do it any other way. Now I've saved that on something that I can make on my own. Hopefully this helps somebody out. I didn't have to spend no money with nobody. I didn't have to wait on a shipper to get it here. I didn't have to sit around here for days and wondering if it's gonna come tomorrow. I made it. Here's all I'm saying, guys. Too many projects get put on hold because people say they can't find the parts, or people say that they don't have the money to get a tool they need, or you know, some expert told them they have to buy this one thing, and you have to buy a Snap-on or a Matco, and that's the only one that'll work, and blah blah blah. And young folks that's getting started don't know any different, so their project ended up stelling out for weeks, months, whatever, because they thought they had to spend a certain amount of money on something, all because somebody believes in what they've got so much they're not willing to swallow their pride for a minute and say, all right, I bought that just because I wanted to buy that, or I bought that just because I've got the money and I didn't want to spend the time, or I bought that because I didn't realize I could make it on my own. You know, that's a hard pill to swallow right there, to admit you couldn't do it. But in all honesty, all across this country in garages like this, there's homemade tools like that doing jobs that people will tell you you need high-end tools for. And I'm not necessarily talking about this oil pump priming tool. That's no big deal. I've seen people do that with screwdrivers, grind the ends of them into a little hex and use it to prime tools, prime oil pumps with. So I'm not even talking about that per se, but I mean in general, that there's a lot of things out there that you could make in your garage, spend a few minutes, and use some of the junk stuff that you have laying around. Maybe you don't have junk stuff laying around, but as you can see, I don't throw away engine stuff. Even if it's old, like that distributor was old and there was a bearing or something bad in it and it would stick and lock up, and it was garbage, but I didn't throw it away for that. And that junk distributor that was garbage that the average guy would have threw away, well, now it's turned into a tool that is useful for me from now on, because I build a lot of motors. So now all of a sudden I have something that's useful forever. Now, all I'm saying, guys, is don't be afraid to try something. But here's what you gain. The only way to gain knowledge of how to do something correctly is to fail. It's the only way to know the right way to do it is to find a bunch of ways that was the wrong way that didn't work. Hopefully that doesn't confuse people. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. But guys, get out there in the garage, do something, work on something, make something happen. Make your dreams a reality. We only get to go around this old rock one time. Get out there and make your dreams come true, and do not let people with deep pockets tell you that you cannot do something. Only you can stop you from doing something. Love you guys. See you next time.